Yay, friends! We're back with more about Jesus. Remember his baptism with the dove and God's voice from the sky? Well, after that amazing moment, Jesus is starting his amazing work. Today's story is super special because it's about his very first miracle. It happened at a big, fun wedding party. So get ready for some magic from God. Let's celebrate. A long time ago, in a town called Cana, there was a joyful wedding. Now, weddings back then were not just for one day. They were huge parties that could last for a whole week. Imagine that! Everyone was eating delicious food, drinking yummy drinks, and dancing to happy music. It was a wonderful celebration. And guess who was invited? Jesus was there! His mom, Mary, was there too, along with some of his brand new friends, called disciples. They were all having a great time celebrating with the happy couple. But in the middle of all the fun, a big problem came up. The party ran out of wine. Now, this was a really big deal back then. It was like running out of cake at a birthday party. The hosts would have felt very embarrassed. Mary, Jesus' mom, noticed the problem right away. She saw the worried faces and knew something had to be done. So, she went to Jesus, her special son. She quietly said to him, "They have no more wine." Jesus replied with a gentle voice, "Mom, my time hasn't come yet." It was a bit of a mysterious answer, wasn't it? But Mary trusted Jesus completely. She knew he could help. So she turned to the servants at the party and told them something very important. She said, "Do whatever he says." She knew that if they listened to Jesus, everything would be okay. Nearby, there were 6 huge stone jars sitting in a corner. These weren't small little water bottles. They were gigantic. Each one was big enough to hold about 20 or 30 gallons of water. Can you imagine how heavy that would be? These jars were usually used for ceremonial washing, a tradition where people would wash their hands and feet to be clean. Jesus looked at these big, empty jars, and then he told the servants, "Fill the jars with water." The servants probably thought this was a strange request. Why would they need all that water? But they remembered what Mary said. Do whatever he says. So they obeyed. They went and got buckets of water and started filling up those huge jars. Splash, splash, splash. They filled them all the way to the very top until not another drop could fit inside. Then, Jesus gave another instruction. He said to the servants, "Now dip some out and take it to the party leader." The party leader was the person in charge of the whole celebration, kind of like a party planner. The servants must have been so confused. They had just filled the jars with plain, ordinary water. They were probably thinking, "Water? Why are we taking water to the leader? He's expecting wine." It didn't make any sense. But they had promised to do whatever Jesus told them to do. So, one of them took a small cup, dipped it into one of the giant stone jars, and carefully carried it over to the party leader. When the party leader tasted what was in the cup, his eyes went wide with surprise. It wasn't water anymore! It was the most delicious, most wonderful wine he had ever tasted. He had no idea where it came from. He thought the bridegroom, the man who was getting married, had bought it. So he called the bridegroom over and said, "Wow, this is amazing. Most people serve their best wine first, and then, when everyone has had a lot to drink, they bring out the not-so-good wine. But you saved the very best for last." The bridegroom was probably very surprised too. No one at the party knew about the miracle. No one knew where this incredible wine came from, except for the servants who had filled the jars with water. And of course, Jesus' disciples. This was Jesus' very first miracle. By doing this, he showed his glory. That's a special word. That means his incredible divine power that comes straight from God. His disciples, who were just starting to get to know him, saw this amazing thing happen. They saw him turn plain water into the best wine. And when they saw it, they believed in him even more. They knew he was truly special, the Son of God. Jesus didn't do this miracle to show off. He did it to help the wedding hosts, to keep the party joyful, and to show that he cares about people's everyday problems. Isn't that cool? Jesus can do anything. He can take something simple and ordinary, like water, and turn it into something wonderful and extraordinary, like the best wine. This story teaches us to trust Jesus just like Mary did. Even when things don't make sense, if we listen to him and do what he says, he can do amazing things in our lives. Have you ever seen something ordinary become special? Maybe a simple rock you painted, or a song you made up. Jesus loves to make things wonderful. That's the story of Jesus' first miracle. What a great way to start his amazing work on earth. Next time, we'll explore even more of his incredible adventures and teachings. Always remember, Jesus is with you and ready to help in surprising ways. Thanks for joining our story time today. See you soon, Party Pals.
Thank you for watching. God bless you.